Weekly. Along with Paul Ragsdale, Chuck Davison, I'm Lyle Stokes, and we have Honey Doo-Doo's cousin Ronnie Boo Boo, better
Hey
known as.
y'all.
We also have James Bink Fox. We're going to talk about keeping your fishing holes clean and a few other subjects. Before we get started, I'd like to bring to everybody's attention that we have an issue that I have just become aware of. The great state of Illinois somehow has decided to make bow fishing, channel catfish, legal in the state of Illinois. Personally, I just can't believe this. I'm beside myself with the thought that they think that people can look in the Illinois River, as murky as it is, and determine if they're shooting a blue or a channel cat. They don't have giant blues up in the Illinois River anyhow, and to eliminate them or shoot them, nobody's going to throw them back. They know that they're down with their finances, and they went from 100 and whatever it was officers to 60 some, and I cannot believe that they would let this happen over there. You guys from Illinois and all the surrounding states and anywhere else as far as that goes, we need to be sending emails and writing letters, whatever we got to do to the state to tell them the mistake they've made here. This is the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard of. One of the guys that was involved with the Bow Hunting Association over there, I sent him a message. He got completely belligerent with me. I actually forwarded some of those messages to Paul so he could see the guy just, he just a goof. So, we need to go over their head and let the state of Illinois understand that we are trying to conserve catfish, the breeding size fish. They're not going to be bow shooting the little ones now, guys. They're going to be bow shooting the big fish, if they can see them. That's the real issue, is how in the world they're going to see them, determine what they are. So if they shoot a flathead or a blue, they'll either keep it or throw it back to die, and this is just ludicrous. I just can't stress enough how important it is that people need to be writing these letters and sending these emails. That's the only way that we can get these people's attention. This is a great subject for our conservation efforts to be a part of, so keep that in mind. First off, I'd like to introduce James Bink Fox, Janet Fox's husband. They are great tournament fishermen, great conservationists in the sport. They fish a lot of tournaments. James, welcome to the show.
Thanks. I'm glad to be here.
You fish mostly the Ohio River, I understand. Do you run into problems with a lot of trash and stuff being in your waterways?
Oh, sure I do. A lot of it comes from the floods. People, they leave stuff in their yards and stuff, and when the river raises, it washes it right back down. You'll have just all kinds of trash. You can see it floating down when the river's raising. It's not good to look at.
Right, and a lot of us pick that stuff up, and I'm sure you guys do too. I know there's a lot of efforts on the Mississippi where they get boats and groups of people that go up and down the river and spend a day 2 or 3 times a year picking this stuff up and hauling it out. Do you guys have any things like that working over your way?
Well, in the past, our club's done it. We've had times at the local lakes to pick up trash, and the one time we had over 3 truckloads of tires around about a 350-acre lake that we picked up and took off.
Wow, that's amazing. Well, I'm glad to know that it's something that's everybody's trying to improve on and make better. I know that Paul puts a lot of work in on this kind of stuff, and it's outstanding that people get together and try to clean up these messes, because everybody doesn't realize that one piece of trash here and one piece of trash there, if everybody does that throughout their year of fishing, then the next thing you know, it's just spread out every place. How's the fishing over your way right now, James?
Well, it's a little bit slow, believe it or not. Usually by now it's picked up, but we fished a tournament yesterday and placed third with only 37 pounds of fish, and that's pretty weak for our area.
Is that on 5 fish?
Janet caught a 21-pound blue, and she's definitely talking smack about that.
Yeah, I'm sure I'll be hearing about that. Better be saving those big fish so she don't have to wear that Cardinals hat this fall.
I look for the bite to pick up. We're getting some rain here this week, and the Cabela's tournament for Galplis, Ohio, is Saturday, and it's going to pull some pretty good fishermen in. So I look for some big fish to be brought into the scales.
Well, that's great. I'm glad. I hope you guys are real successful in your tournament over there this weekend. I'm not going to take up any more of the show time visiting with you. I'm going to send it over to Chuck and let him ask you a few questions, and then we'll switch it over to Paul. I think we better keep Runny DooDoo till the last.
Hey James, we had Janet on the Janet on the show, Women and Catfishing, a while back, and we was on the topic of fishing with your husbands and all this. Tell us a little bit about having your wife as your main partner, and kind of routines that y'all do in the boat where where it really pays off, and what jobs each person have where it really makes this a really good situation.
Well, first of all, it's a blast to fish with her, and we fished together for so long, we know what each other's going to do. And if we have a big fish on, basically we know what position the net person's going to be in, and the rod and reel person going to reel on it ends. And we just help each other out. It seems to work real well if you know what the other person's thinking. It's just like any other team.
Are y'all really competitive with each other and really talk smack, even during tournaments? Are y'all very competitive against each other with catching fish?
Well, we are to an extent, but the bottom line is we're one team, and we're there to compete with our competitors, and we're there to win as a team. So that's what we try to do.
Yeah, but the talking smacks just makes a lot of fun at it, huh?
Exactly.
Yeah, that's the fun part. And all you and Janet's years of fishing tournaments together, can you tell us one of your most favorite times that y'all spent fishing a tournament one day?
Well, they're all memorable, and of course they're all fun, but one of my favorite ones, we were in Alabama and fishing the Pickwick Lake and got on some giant fish. Of course, they have a slot limit, and at one point our smallest fish was 50 pounds, and we were catching them as quick as you could throw. So we decided to go through. I've done some pre-fishing, decided to hit some spots with smaller fish, and pulled in there, and she ended up landing 2 or 3 fish in the 40s right off the bat. And she's like, "Yeah, I thought you said they were smaller." I said, "Well, they were." But those were some high weights that we had. Of course, we didn't weigh. We only had 2 fish that we could weigh in, maybe one other one. I don't remember that. But when you're out catching fish to that magnitude, and it was fun.
Yes, times like that make it all worth it. Do y'all have a lot of problems with trash at your boat ramps and different launch areas and public fishing areas around your area? And if y'all do y'all have efforts on cleanups on those?
Yes, we do have lots of trash, and when we pull up, we'll pick up a little bit of trash, as for stuff that's easy to get to when we're at the boat ramp and stuff. And as a club, we make efforts to make sure we keep everything clean the way it was when we got there, especially if it was clean. you notice there's certain places, you know, we travel a lot, so there's certain places that's cleaner than others in the States, but there's a lot of places that we notice that has fishing line all over the place, especially at some dams. It's horrible. You know, fishing line can hurt a lot of different ducks and wildlife and everything else, and I really hate to see that.
Right. And you know, everybody has their certain home waters that they would call it. It don't matter if it's a 2-hour drive. You know, you got your special spots you go to. But when you find you know, trout lines and stuff like that, and you know, you can tell that they've been out for a long time. The lines are all mossy, and you hang into them. Do you go ahead and cut them old lines up and dispose of them, or how do you handle situations like that?
Oh, sure we do. Sometimes I come back in the boat with all kinds of just trash that we picked up. Yesterday we were picking up trash as we were fishing. We were anchor fishing. Trash was coming by and we was picking up, throwing it in the boat.
Yeah, them
bottles and beer bottles, just trash in general.
Yeah, well, I consider them, you know, them old trout lines and stuff that's still laid out in the river that, you know, you try to drift fish, and every time you get on a good drift, you're getting hung up on somebody's trash trout line that's been out forever, and, you know, that's, you know, one thing that really runs it for, you know, for me with trout lines, if, you know, people just leave them out there and forget about them, and you know they just collect a lot of junk, and you know collect limbs, and they build up, and it just becomes a big mess. All right, James, it's been nice talking to you, and I'll pass it back to Lyle, and he can pass it off to your next speaker.
All right, James, we have a question that come in. I'm looking for who sent it, but anyhow, they want to know what your favorite. Adam Winder wants to know what your favorite bait is.
I'd probably go with the moon eye or the skipjack on that. I like both baits about the same. Depends on the time of the year. Most of it depends on time of the year. In the wintertime, I just absolutely love shad.
And that's, you know, that's kind of what my thought on it was. In the colder weather, shad works better for me, and in the hotter, as the weather warms up, then moon eye and skipjack, and when the weather gets really hot, we'll even go to some Asian carp and things like that.
Yeah. Now, we're fortunate as of now. We don't really have the Asian carp as bad as you guys do. We don't have to use Asian carp as of yet.
Well, Asian carp is there's so many of them in the river system now. My thinking, and this is just my personal belief, I believe that they have become one of the food sources for big blues and flatheads. Even channel cat, the only issue is they grow so fast that they get too big for them to digest and eat. But when they're smaller, I think they've become a great source of food for them. And not that I'm for having them in the waters; they're very dangerous to be in there. But I know that these fish are eating them. The problem in my area is the last 2 or 3 years, it is nearly impossible to go out and net shad, simply because the Asian carp eat the same thing the shad do, and you can't find any shad any longer in our stretch of the river. I don't know if you guys run into that over there or not.
No, we don't yet. It's coming our way. Right now, we have more shad than Asian carp, so we're fortunate on that. But along with the catfish on them Asian carp you was talking about, the stripers do a good job eating them up too. And I think they really need to make sure we keep them catfish and stripers in these river systems, to keep them to the minimum.
I agree 100%. I didn't realize that the stripers eat them, but yeah, the catfish and stripers are two of the greatest predator fish in any of the water systems in the United States. People They talk about walleyes and muskies and stuff being predator fish. There's no greater predator than a big blue or a big flathead going after something to get when he's ready to eat. I mean, that's just the way it is. Paul, did you want to ask him some questions, or you want to let Chris do it?
I'll let Chris do it. I don't really have any questions, just a few statements. So
okay,
I can go
Chris,
on.
Are you ready to visit with James? We've kind of put you off, but as time goes along, we have to put in Runny DooDoo.
That's Runny DooDoo.
Okay.
It's all right. It's all right. Everybody gets me and my cousin confused. We look so much alike. It's all right, though. Runny DooDoo is what they call me. So, I heard we're going to talk about keeping our holes clean. So I thought I would bring a couple things that I show to help keep my hole clean. First, we got that right there. This right here, keep your hole clean, and this right here. These two things right here will help you keep your hole clean. So, first off, right, make sure it's soft. You don't want one too hard because it hurts. Just in case it does hurt, this one's really, really soft. Really soft. And it's like a sponge. Both of these things right here help you keep your hole clean. So,
I'm talking about fishing holes there, Ronnie.
Oh, fishing holes?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Okay, I knew that. Yep, I knew that. I was just kidding. I was just kidding about all that stuff. I don't use those things. Fishing holes. Yeah, I keep those clean too. Sometimes when I use my dynamite when I'm fishing, sometimes I gotta go pick up parts of the fish that land on the bank, and I pick those up every single time. Because most of the time I eat them, if it's the good parts, like the tails. I love the tails. But yeah, is it Bink Fox? That what they call you?
Yeah.
I'm Runny DooDoo. How you doing?
Oh, I'm doing fine, Ronnie.
It's real good to meet you.
What relation are you to Honey Boo Boo? Let me get this straight.
Honey Boo Boo's my cousin. Her uncle is my dad and my brother, and I think he's my nephew, but I'm not sure.
Are you inbred at all?
What was that?
Ronnie, are you inbred at all?
Or Georgia? Down there with the other Boo Boo family?
Nope. I live up in Indiana.
Okay.
I'm good friends with that Fudd guy. He let me come over and take his spot for a little while and talk to you guys. I watch the show all the time. I love you guys. You guys are awesome. So
You got him lost for words, Ronnie.
yeah, so Bink.
Yeah.
Like when you're fishing for these catfish, what kind of way do you keep your trash in your boat from going in the river?
Oh, that's easy. There's two ways of doing that. We have a bucket in the boat itself, but if we don't use that, sometimes we'll use a Walmart bag and just throw it in the rod locker. So when we get back to boat ramp, we just tie it up and either throw it in a trash can or take it with us.
Okay. All right. Now, let's see, keeping your hole clean. When you're out bank fishing, you pick up other people's trash?
Oh, sure. If I'm bank fishing, I pick up whatever I brought with me, plus whatever else is.
Hey, I'm gonna be going bank fishing here soon. Can you come over?
You want me to travel from Ohio to Indiana and help you pick your trash up?
Well, I was kind of hoping.
Well, that's only a 3-hour drive for me.
Okay. I'll take that as a yes.
Up.
I'll take that as a yes. Sounds good. We got a plan. All right. Yeah. As far as keeping the trash in the boat, you put it in a bucket, which I do that. I'll do that. I'll put it in a bucket. That's
Runny?
always good. You put a lid on that bucket. What's that? What's that, Lyle?
We have a guy that has sent in a question that maybe you would like to get all the trash picked up and start a fire in your boat and burn it while you're going down the river. You ever think about that?
Sounds logical to me.
Just checking.
I mean, especially on a cold night, you need a fire, keep warm.
Mr. Brown's Catfishing wants to know if it's cold there in Indiana. I think for some reason they think that you might have some glass cutters going on or something.
Are you trying to say my tire is not appropriate? I'm starting to feel attacked here.
Well, no, Jonathan Herndon seems to think that
I dressed up for this show. I told you you're my heroes. I love it.
I understand, but Jonathan seems to think that you look better as a blonde.
How would he know?
I don't know.
Binky.
I don't know how he would know.
Who is this Jonathan? Seen me as a blonde. I've only been drunk about 4 times last week. I don't remember being no blonde.
Well, I don't know. He ranks up there with James and Janet and all the big fishermen. I mean, if he thinks you ought to be a blonde, I think you ought to be a blonde.
Huh. So if I want to be good at catfishing, I need to be a blonde. Okay. All right. I got it.
Ron Workman thinks that your thong might be on too tight.
I ain't wearing no underwear.
Like we wanted to know.
I'll let you get back to Bink.
Okay, Bink. You said that you were catching moon eye. I ain't never heard of these moon eye. Are there any other types of eyes that you catch?
Well, sure. There's every now and then a gold eye.
Got a gold eye? What was that?
Other eyes out there.
Got a gold eye and a moon eye. Is there any brown eyes out there?
I don't know about brown eye, but I know there's, walleye. There's some walleyes.
Some walleyes, moon eye, golden eye, brown eye. We got lots of eyes out there to catch, don't we? And now, which one? You say moon eye is your favorite bait. How you catch moon eye?
It's in the top line. Yeah, it's in the top 3 anyways.
Well, how you catch them?
Now, I can't be telling all my secrets.
Oh, come on now. Thought me and you were friends.
Oh, you can use a bobber and a cricket.
A bobber with a cricket. Okay.
Bobber and a cricket. A nice, good cast net sometimes will catch you a couple.
You think dynamite would work?
Dynamite will work.
Dynamite?
Electric telephone?
I'm pretty deadly with the dynamite, I'll tell you right now.
James,
I like
we should
that
prepare
idea of the electric telephone. That'll do the job too.
You ever do any jug lining or trot lining or any of that?
I do not trot line. Years ago when I was a kid, my dad would like to jug line for turtles, and it was fun. Every now and then you catch a catfish. We just turned them back.
I catch a crap house from turtles. I do it.
Oh, yeah.
I got the question, do I play the banjo? No, my cousin plays the banjo, though. He does. I've heard him. I do live right down the woods from him. So if you hear that banjo, you probably want to go knock on his door. He's probably going to be inside there or on his back porch, and he'll be playing that banjo. There might be a couple of us out there. You know, we're pretty nice guys. You come on up to us and talk to us, and you know, don't mind the screams or anything coming from the shed. You know, we'll be all right. We're good. But yeah, Bink, it was real nice meeting you. I think I don't have anything else for you. You know, if
Pleasure.
James, we should have prepared you for this, but I didn't know anything about it until the show got ready to start, that we was going to have Runny on here. We have a little bet between your wife and myself about a tournament coming on this weekend or this fall at the Monsters of the Ohio. The biggest catch between our two teams. The other teams will wear their baseball cap for a week and post pictures on there. Are you going to let her ride around your truck with that great Cardinals cap on?
Well, Laura, I can tell you this much. I will have her on fish, so we don't have to wear a Cardinals hat. This year's going to be a little different. I'm going to work harder at it. That's a motivation.
You know that Janet and I have great fun with this Cardinal Reds thing.
To do it.
We really have a good time with that, and she's a good sport about the Cardinals and the Red rivalry, and teams have really great ball games, and her and I have been going at this for a year or so now, and I enjoy visiting with her online very much. But you know, if I can get that Cardinals cap on her head for a week, you can count that I'm going to be doing
it. Well, you're going to have you got your hands full, because she's going to fish her heart out on that one.
Oh, I know she is, and that's what I want her to do. I wouldn't have it any other way. But it's going to be fun regardless. And are you guys? I suppose you all are gearing up for all the tournaments this year and getting ready for the Monsters. I know that's a great tournament you all really enjoy going to.
Oh, we love the Monsters. That's one we really look forward. We usually take an extra day off. A lot of our friends, that's our favorite thing. We love seeing our friends, and that seems to bring everybody together. So that's one of our favorite tournaments for sure.
Yes, I agree. It's a great time down there. We had such a good time last year, and we're really looking forward to being there again and seeing you and Janet and everybody else. It'll be a good time. How many big tournaments you going to this year other than the Monsters?
We have 4, possibly 5 of the Caballos tournaments that we're for sure going to go to. The first one's this coming weekend. Actually, it's in our backyard. It's right on our local water. So opening it up with that should be a pretty good day. And then we're kind of on the Caballo tour for the next month. We're going to try to hit 3 of them almost in a row. So a lot of work. And of course, you know how the expense goes out. Hopefully, we can pull a win or two out of that.
That's good. I'm glad to hear you guys are getting out, and good luck at all your tournaments. I wish that we had a way to get you guys over to the Jack and Jill tournament we're going to have. I know that's a very long trip, but it would be awesome if you all could figure out a way to make that over here. It's not in the big fish water that we'd like to have it, but Mark Twain Casino has really put together a good program for us, and we're really looking forward to having a good turnout at that tournament. Is there anything like that in your area where it's a man and woman team thing, or do you guys just fish that way because that's the way you do it?
No, there's not anything around here. We just fish that way because we enjoy each other, and it's just fun. We get along well enough. You know, if you're in a 20-foot boat for 8 hours at a time and neither one of you hit the water, that's a good day.
Oh, I agree 100%.
Excuse me?
I agree 100%.
But on the Jack and Jill tournament, we would love to come out there, and I know that's going to be a good tournament. And is that going to be an annual event, Lyle?
We're going to try to do it that way. Yes, we're going to try to make it happen to where it's every year, and hopefully it'll get bigger and bigger. The whole idea behind this is getting more women and kids into the sport. We'd like to expand it to a tournament sometime where we could get to where it's mandatory you have a child in the boat, 15 or under or something like that. But this is our starting point of. We've been trying for 3 years to get a Jack and Jill tournament put together, and every year we either get floods or something comes up, bad weather or something where we have to cancel it. So this year, I think we've picked a date that's going to be really good, and our goal is to get as many women and children, and it doesn't have to be a wife. It can be a girlfriend or your daughter or your niece or whatever, just to get them interested in the sport, because there's nothing better than catching a big old cat.
Oh, yeah, you got that right, and we'll definitely put it on our list for next year. We'd love to come this year, but if that don't work out, we'll definitely put it on our list and see if we can't do that. That sounds like a good time.
Are you seeing more females and kids getting into the sport of catfishing out your way?
Oh, sure we are. Back, we fished the Cabela Circuit since 2003, and back when we first started that series and some other series, we fished the Durcat series a year or two, and just a couple local clubs and stuff like that. Janet and Lynn Lane was the only 2 female that I know that fished. There was another lady, I think she was out of Illinois. Her name was Julie, I think, at that time. And that
Julie Heisey?
3. And as years went by, our club, we have 11 or 12 active male members in our club now. So it's really, when we get to a tournament, you see several ladies anymore.
That's great. It's a great family project for people to do together, and I'm really happy to see the women and the kids getting more involved in the sport. That's especially, the women makes it easier for the guys to get to go fishing. If they all enjoy it, it makes it easier for everybody to get out and have a good time. But if we don't keep the kids interested in the sport, it's like anything else. It'll never make it to get things done like we need to get done on the rivers and different things. But, that's the whole idea behind it, is to get that stuff done. Paul, did you want to visit with James at all?
Well, I think you guys well asked those questions. And, the only thing I've got to say is, the limb lines, trot lines, jugs, I see those out. It's obvious they're not being used. Sometimes I'll cut them down in the lake where I'm at. Usually they put their names on them, but if they don't, I just contact the city and let them handle it, and I just leave them there. But last time I think we cleaned up Silver Lake, we took 5 boats out, and we had 5 boats full of trash and almost filled a big dumpster. So picking up line, I know it's not yours, but picking up the line, picking up the 6-pack, plastic 6-pack deals and stuff like that, you can help by picking it up, even though it's not yours. Don't have the attitude that it's not my problem, because eventually it is your problem, no matter how you look at it. And in the 5 boats we had 2 people in each boat, so we pulled everything up from bumpers to barrels to, and you name it. And that's pretty well all I had, Lyle.
Hey,
Okay.
Lyle, I got a few more things.
Okay, Chris.
It's Bud. Bud's back. I kicked Runny DooDoo out. He had enough time on here, so yeah, he's a silly one, man. But hey, Bink, are you gonna be at that tri-state catfish shootout?
Unfortunately, it doesn't look like I'm going to be there. Vince puts on a real good show up there. He works hard at it, and they have a great tournament. I think they had over 50 boats last year.
Yeah, I was there last year.
That is the same weekend as the Henderson, Kentucky Cabela's tournament,
Oh
and
yeah.
I think we're headed that way.
Okay, I just wondered if I was gonna say if you're gonna be there, I'll say hello and everything. I'm not sure I've had a chance to meet you or talk to you too much in person, so
Yeah,
um,
as soon as, well, I know I'll probably see you at the Monsters, but
oh yeah,
maybe before.
yeah, possibly.
You're not too far away from me. We're having a Miracle Network tournament out in Mason, West Virginia, August the 2nd. If you know anybody, I know some people out your way goes to it. Uh, Claude Reynolds, I think last year was there, and Scott Panghorn. Some guys out your way, and it's a fun time. Myself and Walmart and Coca-Cola, Pepsi, some other companies, we put it on. All the money goes towards the Children's Network in Morgantown, West Virginia, Child's Network, which is a children's hospital.
And what date is that at?
That's August 2nd.
August 2nd.
It's a great time, and we've got some other activities planned for this year, and sounds. I think it's going to be. Last year, I think we drove 50 some boats, but I would say 70 some this year. It's looking pretty promising.
Yeah, and you said that's West Virginia, right?
West Virginia.
Yeah, West Virginia. They got the protected the catfish laws up in effect up there, and they're starting to see some bigger and bigger catfish come out of those waters.
Yes, they do. Ohio and West Virginia both. They have some good laws, and it protects the fish. The flathead catfishing is tremendous. Probably some of the best in the states.
We got a question on the website catfishweekly.com from Adam Winder. Asks if you're going to fish the Sea Arc or the Bass Pro in Owensboro.
A Sea Arc, as of now, I am not. I'll be in Morgantown, West Virginia, fishing the Cabela's. The Bass Pro is still up in the air. I'm not sure what day that's going to be on, but we are considering that one.
Okay. Go ahead. Did I cut you off on anything there?
No, I'm here. I interrupted you.
That's all right. I was just going to say, Scott Wiseman with the ICA, I believe, had a pretty good idea, and I think that it's something that goes along with what we're talking about here, and it's something that, different organizations and clubs and tournament trails, things that they could do in different communities to help out with trash and things, and also help themselves in a way. Sponsor, get a hold of a town where a boat ramp is, or a park or something where you can, as a club, sponsor that, and as a club event, sort of have your people in your club come out and clean it up, once or twice a year or something like that, and in exchange put a sign out there, this property's upkept, or somebody that can come out once a month if it's close by, different, ICA has a lot of guys in a lot of parts of the state, and they were discussing having, if there's any guys that were willing to, sponsoring different boat ramps around their own towns, going and just cleaning them up once or twice a month or something like that, and being able to put a ICA sign or something somewhere, and kind of kills two birds with one stone, being you're keeping a place clean, and you're also letting people know. There really is a lot of people that don't know about different tournaments for catfish, and they don't even know. I've talked to many people who don't know that there are catfish tournaments. They know there's bass tournaments, they know there's crappie tournaments. They just, for whatever reason, they haven't fathomed that there's catfish tournaments, and that there's any real participation in them. And so it's a good way to get a different club's name out there, whatever club you're fishing. If you want to help them out, talk to them about it, maybe see if you guys can't get your president or whatever to get somebody to somebody in the club to get something together with everybody and going out and having a cookout or something and clean up place, and good way for everybody to get together and do some good out there.
Yeah, that's a great idea. Those guys with the ICA, there's some good people over there, and I've met several over the years, and boy, there's some good fishermen in that group. And
Yep.
that's a good idea on the cleaning the boat ramp areas up and everything. That's fantastic.
Okay. Yeah, that's all. I just wanted to throw that in there. I remembered it was something that Scott had talked about, and it was a really good idea. It's something that people could actually go and implement, and I don't see too much problem in it. And even if you don't get to put a sign out or whatever, at least as a club or whatever, you guys go out, have a cookout, clean a boat ramp, clean some bank area along the area where people bank fish and stuff, and make a day of it. Do some fishing at night or something.
Yeah, 'cause what you do now, keeping everything clean, is going to really improve the future. We got to keep this earth good for other generations.
Yeah, another question from Adam Winder on Catfishing Pro. He says, "What's the weirdest thing you found in your live well over the years?"
Oh boy, I found a lot of different things. I have found walnuts, potatoes. Yesterday I found that blue cat she caught, puked up a water dog, all kinds of different fruit, peach seeds.
It puked up a water dog. Was it still alive or was it dead?
It was dead.
Yeah.
But that's about the third fish this year I've seen throw up water dogs, so that must be a pretty good bait.
Can you explain what a water dog is to the people that don't know what it is, Bink?
Well, the best way I can explain it is it looks in between. Boy, it's kind of hard. Boy, well, you gave me a hard question there. Kind of like a little yellow belly with legs.
Like a cross between a yellow belly and a salamander, yeah.
That's the best thing to do. It looks like a big salamander. Over here in Ohio, I don't know what, most of them range between 6 inches to 14 inches or so.
All right, Lyle, before we go on, I want to go ahead and announce the winner from the subscriptions and the winner for our live chat and all that for the Dead Red by Team Catfish. All right, guys, I'm going to go to do a screen share, and I'm going to show everybody where to sign up for. Are we done? Are we doing any more giveaways for this month for the subscribing? I think we're doing one more, aren't we?
I think so.
Okay, yeah, I'll do a screen share and we'll show everybody where to. Let's see here. Are you seeing my screen there now?
Yep.
What's that?
Yes.
Okay. Everybody, right down here on our catfishweekly.com, on the right-hand side, you're going to see a subscribe to blog via, and then all you got to do is enter your email address and click that subscribe button. If you get an email asking to confirm, you just click that and confirm your subscription. This last week, our winner of the email bottle of 2 bottles of Dead Red from Team Catfish is Robert Jackson. So congratulations to Robert Jackson. Tonight, everybody who was in the live chat and entered in for tonight's live viewers chance of 2 bottles of Dead Red is on my screen right here. I'm gonna copy and paste it. I'm gonna copy it and we're gonna use random.org. The second week, I didn't put Jason Malone's name in there when he was on here, and I didn't know that I didn't, and I recognized it. So even though he wasn't on here tonight to say hi during the chat, I went ahead and put him in there. I know he started the show, but he was having problems. So anyway, he's in there. What I'm going to do is click the randomize 5 times. On the 5th time, whoever's name is at the number 1 spot will win the 2 bottles. So here we go. Number 1. Number 2. Number 3. Number 4. And the very last time, number 5, Jonathan Herndon. Jonathan Herndon won the 2 bottles of Dead Red. Congratulations, Jonathan. I believe I'm done now, so I'll hand it back over to Lyle.
Has anybody got any other questions that they'd like to visit with Bink about while we have him tonight?
No, I think I'm good.
Okay. James, thank you so much for being on the show. We appreciate having you. And if you have any tournaments or sponsors that you'd like to visit about, we'll let you have a few minutes here to talk about that. And again, thank you for spending your time with us on Catfish Weekly.
Hey, thanks, Lyle, and all you guys. I appreciate you inviting me. One thing I do want to bring up tonight is my buddy Doc Tim Langs. It's his birthday today, and I hope he had a good day. And Rippin' Lips, Monster Rod Whores, they're our sponsors for this year, and we're ready to hit the tournament trail. It's time.
That's awesome. Glad.
That's all I have, Lyle.
Okay, thank you, James, and be sure to clear off a spot on your mantle for that Cardinals cap. Looking forward to seeing you and Janet later on this year.
Okay, we'll definitely bring them Reds caps down with us to the Monsters.
Looking forward to it, buddy.
You'll have to
Thank you.
right home with a Reds hat. How's that sound?
That sounds like a plan. Whatever it takes.
Had on last year. Well, we still be red, but it's going to have Reds.
Well, as long as we're having a good time, that's the main thing.
You're right. Hey, I can't wait to see you guys, and I hope to meet the rest of you, Paul and Chris and everybody else. And this was I enjoyed myself.
Well, thanks for coming on. I'm going to do my part here and announce a couple of things that we usually do at the end of the show. We have a couple of tournaments coming up. In Twisted Cat Outdoors, we have a tournament coming up in Nauvoo, Illinois. This will be a regular monthly tournament for us, and it is an added money tournament. Hang on just a second. The 24th of May, Nauvoo, Illinois. We've already started taking entries, so if you're interested in fishing that, this tournament will be from the Keokuk Dam north. Anyone can get in the tournament. We'd be glad to have you. It's going to be a great tournament. We're having May 24th, and I've talked about this for a little while now, but we're having a benefit tournament to help Calvin Myers, who's been diagnosed with cancer. This is a great cause. Anybody that has time and interest in fishing a tournament where there's some really good fishing, come to Burlington, Iowa, and fish this Calvin Myers tournament. There's going to be a raffle and an auction after the tournament and a dinner being put on by some people up there. And we're having just unbelievable response from people. Tangle with Catfish Rods is sending us 4 fishing rods, and just a host of people. I have a room that I do my work in, and we've just got boxes and boxes of stuff. We got 2 Cat River anchors we're giving away, and just stuff too numerous to mention. There's a lot of other stuff that's being donated that I'm not even aware of. So please, Calvin is a great ambassador to the sport of catfishing. If you guys can see your way to make it over to Burlington come on over the 24th of May the May 31st and fish in this tournament. It's going to pay 50% of the entry fee will go to Calvin, and 50% will go in prize money, and it's just going to be a great cause. So we're looking forward to a big crowd there. June 24th, LaGrange, Missouri will be our Jack and Jill tournament. This is going to be an outstanding event. You must have one man, one woman in the boat. You're allowed 3 fisher people in the boat, whether there be 2 women or 2 men. As long as you have 1 female, 1 male in the boat, you can have any combination of two people or 3. You don't have to have 3, but you can have. But you must have 1 male, 1 female in the boat. Guaranteed first place is $3,000 for this tournament. This is going to be a big event for Twisted Cat Outdoors, so I'd like to see as many of you show up as you can. We already have a pretty good list of entries, and as in all of our tournaments, you'll be leaving out in the order of entries are sent in, so get them entries coming in. That way you can get an early start. It's going to be a great time. Remember when you're out fishing on the waters, folks, that if you see trash laying around there, just take a second and pick it up. As James was telling us, if we don't take care of the waterways now, they're only going to get worse and be a bigger mess for future generations. And there's always a spot in your boat you can put an empty soda can or bottle or something in and take it in and throw it in the dumpster when you get at the ramp. I can't think of any ramps that don't have a dumpster of some sort or a trash can or something like that. And I've seen ducks and things that had 6-pack bikinis on them and bottles floating down the river. And whenever it floods, this happens, but it's worse when you know something's being left out there by fellow sportsmen. So try to do your part and clean it up. And thanks everybody for coming and listening to the show. Chris, you want to do your closeout?
Yeah. Also want to say the ICA I think the next tournament they have is going to be at New Albany. I want to say it's on May 3rd or I think it's May 10th actually, May 10th. You can find more information about that at indianacatfish.com. The normal closer of the show, even though each of us individually are sponsored by different companies and products, the show itself isn't sponsored by any individual company or product, and everybody that's on the show, anybody that watches the show, feel free, come on, no matter who you choose to support or whatever. We're all in this together for the sport of catfishing. So Runny DooDoo told me to tell everybody goodbye. He really enjoyed himself on the show. So no, I think that's all I got for this week.
Chuck, your turn.
Okay, I just want to remind everybody the Alabama Catfish Trail will hold their inaugural tournament May 17th on Lake Gunnersville. We're going to launch from the Scottsboro City Park ramp at 7 a.m. Weigh-in will be at Scottsboro Catfish Festival at the Jackson County Park ramp right across the slough. So there'll be a lot of spectators and a lot of guys at the festival, so dress appropriate. For any more details, you can go to the Alabama Catfish Trail Facebook page and like us while we're there. So any of you guys that are in southern Tennessee or northwest Georgia that want to come join us, come on over. We're going to have a good time.
Hey, Chuck, that is a new trail starting up down your way. Is that correct?
Yes.
Who all's involved with that? How many tournaments you're having? Can you give us some information on it?
Yes. This year, we're only going to hold 4 tournaments. We're having only a 3-fish weigh-in this year, so guys can get prepared and start getting their live wells ready. A lot of guys don't have live wells big enough to actually, hold some of the larger fish, especially 2 over 34. We're going to allow 3, 4 people in the boat. You know, whatever's safe. Everybody's still going to be able to use 6 rods. You know, we're trying to get everybody's interest in it. You know, and if you know, people want to join another team, go out and see what it's like. They can actually go out and get a taste of it before they decide to go buy them a boat. Our first tournament's going to be in Gunnersville. It's going to be a day tournament. Then we're going to have another one on Lake Hoyt. That's the where the state record was called a couple years ago, down on the Warrior River, down by Tuscaloosa. Then we're going to have another one that's going to be on Lake Wheeler. I believe it's in September. And then we're going to have another one on Neely Henry in October. I don't know the exact dates on those. I don't have it in front of me right now, but you can go to the web page, our Facebook page, and we got all the details and the rules and everything there.
Well, that's great. I'm glad to see you guys getting that thing underway. We're looking forward to seeing some reports on some big fish coming out of down there. I know you guys got them, so that'll be outstanding.
Yeah, we're getting a lot more interest than we thought we was going to have. So maybe it's going to be a good experience for everybody, and we can get a lot more people interested in our sport down this way and get this thing going really well.
Absolutely. Well, good luck, Chuck, and keep us posted on how things going.
Hey, Lyle.
Yes, sir.
Hey, would you guys want to go ahead and make an announcement that if we can get Ryan Casey to agree for our next week's show to come on at Monday, that we'll go ahead and start scheduling the rest of the shows from now on, Monday at 8 o'clock Eastern, 7 o'clock Central?
I can contact Ryan and find out if he's available at that time.
If he's not available, I just want to sort of get it out there. If he's not available, we'll keep our next show for Sunday. We'll start posting it and blasting it on Facebook as soon as we know for sure, but we'll probably confirm tonight or tomorrow whether Ryan Casey can switch to Mondays. If he can, then we can probably start looking forward to Monday nights for Catfish Weekly, if everybody else is all right with that. You guys good?
That sounds good to me.
Yeah, either way, it makes no difference to me.
Yeah, okay.
Paul, do you want to close us out?
Yeah, I wanted to make something that Chris forgot. We've got advertisements now on catfishweeklies.com, and we got a few spots available right now. We've got Black Horse Custom Rods and Indiana Hunter listed. 30 for three months and 50 for 6, wasn't it, Chris?
Yeah.
Yeah. So if you want to advertise on Catfish Weekly, get a hold of Fudd at catfishweekly.com and he'll get you set up. And the only other thing I've got is the Jack and Jill tournament. I wanted to make sure that Bink and Chuck understood that blow-up dolls don't count. They have to be real.
I have one other thing.
It's got to be real humans, huh?
Yeah.
One other thing, Paul, before you go, Brown's Catfishing just sent me a message on catfishweekly.com that we are giving away a rod this year for the biggest catfish caught in the nation in a tournament, and right now that is sitting at 86.98 pounds for the biggest tournament catfish caught to date this year. That's a giant.
What kind of rod are they giving away?
A Black Horse rod.
A Black Horse custom rod for the biggest fish.
Biggest fish turned in a tournament this year. And Mr. Brown does a really outstanding job. If you guys are on Facebook, Brown's Catfishing, you need to friend him up. He posts pictures of all the big tournament weigh-ins and stuff, and it doesn't matter what tournament you're on. If he's familiar with it or you've contacted him, you get recognitions for it. and you can get your picture on his front page. If you got the biggest fish of the week being turned in a tournament, he puts it up on his page for a week until the next tournament weekend comes around, and he does a really good job of staying up to date on the tournament situations throughout the United States. So this is a pretty neat deal that he's got going.
And again, I want to remind everybody, no blow-up fish are allowed either.
I forgot something else too. Part of my clothes there.
We keep forgetting.
Until I see you again, stay out of my spot.